They say money can't buy happiness, but what if it can't even buy freedom? That's the jaw-dropping claim shaking up the sports world right now. Floyd "Money" Mayweather, the man who made hundreds of millions in the ring, the guy who once said he'd made $1 billion, is now rumored to be trapped in Dubai over unpaid jewelry debts. Let that sink in. The boxer who bathed in cash, traveled the globe in private jets, and flexed fleets of luxury cars, allegedly can't pay back a jewelry bill and isn't being allowed to leave the country until he does. It sounds insane, like a movie script gone wrong, but the accusations aren't coming from random bloggers. They're coming from Gervonta "Tank" Davis, a former protege who once called Floyd a mentor, a brother, a father figure. No. He's spilling tea that has the internet on fire. When Tank said, "Ask Floyd to go live right now," it didn't sound like a challenge. It sounded like a trap. And Floyd didn't take the bait. He went silent. For a man addicted to attention, who once posted multiple times a day showing off his lifestyle, that silence was deafening. Because Floyd Mayweather doesn't go quiet unless he's hiding something. And the rumor mill didn't hesitate. Was Floyd being held? Was he dodging creditors? Was the money team finally out of money? This isn't just a story about debt. It's about image. Floyd Mayweather's entire brand is built around wealth. From the moment he rebranded himself from Pretty Boy to Money Mayweather, he stopped selling boxing and started selling excess. This is the man who claimed to have over 100 cars. Not metaphorically, literally. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens, Bentleys, Rolls-Royces. Stored in massive warehouses, most of them untouched, never driven. They weren't transportation. They were trophies. Monuments to the myth of unlimited success. But here's the thing. When you never actually use what you buy, was it ever really for you? Or was it for the cameras? And the cars were just the beginning. Floyd's spending habits make rappers look modest. He once said he pays his barber $1,000 per visit, and the guy comes to his house 3 or 4 times a week. That's $150,000 plus a year on haircuts. And that's just one line item. Mayweather refuses to wear the same pair of underwear or socks twice. He leaves designer shoes behind in hotel rooms for the staff. His iPhone case, diamond encrusted. His watch collection includes an $18 million piece called The Billionaire. And when he posts these things online, it's not subtle. It's aggressive. It's like he's screaming, "I'm still rich. I'm still #1. But the louder the flex, the more desperate it starts to look. Tank Davis saw through it. In a string of interviews, he described how Mayweather would buy him Rolexes, luxury cars, and even a house before they even had a signed deal. It seemed generous at first, but Tank says it became clear it was about control. Because when someone gives you everything, they expect something in return. And when that someone is Floyd Mayweather, what they expect is loyalty, silence, obedience. And when Tank started outgrowing the big brother role, when he started getting bigger pops from the crowd, bigger attention online, bigger paydays, that's when things got ugly. Mayweather, the guy who was supposed to lift him up, started pulling him down. And that's the tragic pattern that's been playing out in the background of Floyd's empire for years. Behind every flash of wealth is a hint of fear of being replaced. Tank said it plainly, Floyd don't want to see nobody do better than him. And that mindset bleeds into everything. When Tank's career started skyrocketing, Floyd didn't celebrate, he criticized. Said Tank would never be a true pay-per-view star. Dismissed his accomplishments. Made it clear, there's only room for one money king. But that's not mentorship. That's sabotage. That's ego masking itself as expertise. Meanwhile, the cracks in Mayweather's empire kept growing. Those massive earnings he boasted about, $300 million for the Pacquiao fight, another $300 million for McGregor, turns out those numbers may have been inflated. Industry insiders have revealed that Mayweather's real take-home pay was significantly lower. In some cases, closer to $60 million. Still massive, sure, but not the billionaire boxer image he sells. And that's the issue. Floyd doesn't just spend money, he builds myths around it. He tells the world he's the richest athlete ever, even when the numbers don't back it up. And over time, those myths have become harder to maintain. So what's left when the money slows down and the spotlight dims? For Floyd, It's exhibition fights. Not real title defenses. Not legacy bouts. Just flashy, meaningless events against influencers, retired athletes, or unknowns. And even those have become controversial. Logan Paul, who fought Floyd in 2021, said he still hadn't been paid in full, long after the fight ended. Fans have also posted videos claiming they bought Mayweather merchandise or tickets to events that never materialized. Promises were made. Cash was taken. And then, silence. No refunds. No explanations. That's when you start to wonder, was it all smoke and mirrors? The gold-plated lifestyle, the luxury cars, the endless shopping sprees, was it sustainable? Or was it all built on an illusion? Chael Sonnen, never one to mince words, said it outright, Floyd has to fight because he needs the money. These exhibitions aren't fun, they're financial lifelines. And Sonnen's not the only one saying it. More and more insiders are whispering the same thing, Floyd's broke. Or, at the very least, he's not nearly as liquid as he pretends to be. That brings us back to Dubai. If what Tank Davis said is true, if Floyd really is stuck overseas because of unpaid debts, it paints a terrifying picture. A man once worth hundreds of millions, now allegedly unable to pay off a jewelry bill? It's almost unthinkable. But then again, maybe it's not. Because if your entire brand is based on being the richest man in the room, you'll do anything to keep up that image. Even if it means borrowing. Even if it means cutting corners. Even if it means selling a fantasy that's falling apart behind the scenes. And here's where it gets even darker. Floyd hasn't just been reckless with money, he's been reckless with people. Multiple sources say he has a habit of pushing people away once they outlive their usefulness. He surrounds himself with yes men, people who reinforce the illusion but don't challenge the reality. And when someone like Tank speaks up, he gets mocked, discredited, and cut off. It's not just petty, it's dangerous. Because when you create a world where no one can tell you the truth, eventually the truth crashes down all on its own. Even Mayweather's most famous fights are now under a cloud. The McGregor fight? Massive success, sure. But what if that was the last real payday? What if everything since then has just been an attempt to stay afloat? The endless flexing, the social media posts, the TikTok giveaways, it all starts to feel less like celebration and more like compensation. A desperate attempt to prove he's still on top, even as the foundation crumbles beneath his feet. And let's be real. You don't need 100 cars. You don't need 10 watches. You don't need to gamble millions on a single basketball game. Unless you're trying to fill a hole. A hole that fame and money can't fix. Because at the end of the day, no matter how many people call you money, if your empire is built on sand, one wave is all it takes to wash it away. So what happens next? That's the million-dollar question. Will Mayweather go public and deny the rumors? Will he show the world that he's still the king of cash? Or will the silence continue, fueling speculation and chipping away at the myth he worked so hard to build? One thing's for sure, if Floyd could clear his name with a quick Instagram live, he would have done it by now. The fact that he hasn't, that says everything. And maybe that's the most tragic part of this whole story. Not the money lost. Not the fights fumbled. But the legacy. How a man who had it all might lose everything trying to hold onto an illusion. Because in the end, Mayweather didn't just fight his opponents. He fought insecurity. He fought time. He fought the fear of being forgotten. And right now, it looks like that fight is going the distance. So now it's your turn. What do you think is really going on behind the scenes? Is Mayweather truly broke, or is this all a smokescreen? Was Tank Davis just stirring the pot, or did he expose something deeper than we ever imagined? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. Because this isn't just about boxing. This is about fame, power, pride, and the price you pay when you try to buy forever.